Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journey to Fulfilling Relationships podcast, the relationship show that gets to the heart of the matter, helping you and your family lead fulfilling and connected lives at home, in business, and in life. To listen to other shows, please visit us at journeytofulfillingrelationships.com. Thanks for joining us and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journey to Fulfilling Relationships podcast, the show that gets to the heart of the matter in helping you and your family lead fulfilling and connected lives at home and in business and in life. I'm your host, Tagg, and I'm a relationship empowerment coach, educational consultant, and speaker. You can find out more about my work at taylortagg.com. And our co-host, Noemi Marino, is out of the country and won't be able to join us today. And Noemi is also an educational consultant, national trainer, and coach. You can find more about her at nmarinotaryn.com. And our guest today is Joe Synder. Now, Joe has been a serial entrepreneur for over the last 15 years. He's also CEO of the publicly traded revolutionary blockchain company, Lannister Holdings. Lannister Holdings has generated scaled revenue and growth by developing, owning, and delivering proprietary technology to the financial sector. Joe's a natural leader with the skills to inspire a world-class staff, has a positive work ethic to overcome even the biggest challenges, and the ability to grow and brand within highly competitive and regulated spaces. So we're glad to have you today, Joe. How are you doing today?
Wow, I don't know how I fill those shoes. I sound pretty awesome according to that. I gotta thank my messaging team for that.
That's a great way of an introduction. We're glad to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Great to meet you, Joe Synder, CEO of Lannister Holdings, and we are having a grand adventure. We have an idea about building a decentralized company that builds decentralized technology. And
tell us a little bit about what that is so we have an understanding.
So the first part is we are built, and I realize that maybe we can't stay this way forever. At some point, you need offices with people that are handling things in many, many cases. We're going to test those theories as far as we can, but we are built as a decentralized company, remote work. We're based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and we have a large part of our team is in Phoenix, but we are, remote work around the country. So we've got people in New York, we've got people in Colorado, Phoenix, Oregon, California, really all over the country, Texas. So, we are operating from a setup and operating model where we're utilizing the experience that we have in agile software development, where you don't have here's a task, sit down for 8 hours, do your task, and then you get to clock out and go home. With Agile, there's a basket kind of, I try to break it down so people can actually understand it as opposed to just, drilling into the technicals. But there's basically a basket of tasks that need to be completed, and you can pull the ones that you want to complete and get them done and then return them to the system. And so we've built Lannister with that model in mind for the entire company. So all of our staff works when they want, they work as much as they want, and the challenge is to make sure that they're challenged and inspired, as well as delivering swaths of results that get us as a communal whole to where we need to go.
Well, good. So you said most of your team are they basically virtual, located all different places?
Everybody. Yeah, we do not have an office.
Well, this may be a good topic as far as covering relationships about how to work with virtual teams, because that's a whole different animal than being in the office and working side to side, shoulder to shoulder with people. I know that you said that you do run a world-class team. And so give me a little bit of flavor about what that team looks like and how they may work well together.
That team looks like a group of people who all have very unique skill sets, who are all artists in their own segments and fields, and who have reached a point in their careers for most of them. And our team is growing, so it gets more disparate by the week. But most of the folks on our team, when I say world class, I mean it from a perspective of These people have been there, done that, have the experience, and in most cases are in a financial position in their life where they're not taking a job about $1,
yeah.
right? And when you can present a value package to people that gives them freedom with support, that gives them inspiration with sustainability, that gives them scalable revenue through equity as a public company, with the matched with the success and the work that they're doing. And that allows us, I think, to attract folks who already have experiences in certain areas and have done the other parts that they don't really like. And I think that's a common denominator for us as a company that, we've been doing this for a while now. When I say we, I mean my CTO, Chris Brown, myself, our COO, Cynthia Tanabe. We've been doing consultative development and real estate finance and real estate investments for a long time. And so this adventure of us packaging this together in a new entity, doing a reverse merger, going public in the US, we're publicly traded on the OTC market under the ticker symbol NBDR. And that whole process, we did that because we saw an opportunity to attack a segment that had a really blue ocean in front of it, and that we could attack in a way that was balanced with a freedom mindset. And we wanted to finish this kind of adventure about running a remote work decentralized company. Our previous private consulting company was remote work as well. And it took us probably close to 3 years to really figure out how to make that work, because there's pros and cons, right? There's cons to going to an office and seeing the same people every single day and getting, not being able to pick your neighbors, and all of the things that goes along with that, right? And so there's pros on that side for the decentralized team. We have a lot of people in a lot of places doing a lot of different things, and they don't necessarily sit on top of each other or irritate each other or have a lot of the kind of HR and interpersonal relation issues that you do have by sticking people in office. So there's some pros there, but there's some cons as well, right? Maintaining camaraderie, maintaining a sense of team, maintaining a continual communal focus, making sure that the team can emotionally support members of the team who are having, troubles at home or, whatever those things in life that are going on, can be a challenge. One of the things that we've done to address that is we have Nina Manny, who is on our team, who's really there as a performance and emotional, she's emotional support coach. I don't know that that's the right word, but
sure, that's a great term.
And so, we worked really, really hard and spent several years doing this on a smaller scale, if you will, and figuring out where the potholes were, figuring out what I needed to change about my management style. Demanding things probably doesn't work, so don't do that. So yeah, there was a lot of changes and adaptations that went into that learning curve. And we came to a point as a group where we felt like we were ready to scale that, where we had the experience to scale that and a go-to-market mission and a clear directive that was really scalable and powerful in a blue ocean space. And so that's how Lannister was born.
That's interesting that you bring that up as far as having a virtual team and having a concept and attracting employees who are not necessarily working for the money, but they're working for a purpose and a mission. And I know that in business, the virtual team is becoming more popular and more prevalent, and people have a lot more freedom to be able to work in that type of environment. There are also some things that you have to kind of adjust to and get used to. So can you speak to how your team has been able to adjust to a virtual environment and also become more fulfilled in working together? Because I know that's, like you said, a process and it takes a while to get there. But what are some of the steps that you go through in getting there?
You have to start with a core group of people who know how to work remotely. That's really key. You can't take, 3 MBAs out of a 6-year, run at JP and sit them at home with MacBooks and say, okay, go do everything that you were doing before. There's a disconnect there for sure. So we started with a core team of folks who had already been doing remote work for an extended period of time. And that's a great place to start. From there, it's about selecting the right fit for the people. We hire for mentality more than skills. Skills come in spades. We have the most incredible humans with the most incredible backgrounds and experience sets who have joined us on this adventure and who continue to join us on this adventure. So that's beautiful. But we're hiring for mentality, and we're hiring for a lack of ego and a lack of hubris. And I find that people who have a calm core confidence, people who actually have the chops to pull off the things that we all like to say we can do, that they don't have a lot of those ego issues remaining. There's a lot less of that. And so we do hire for attitude and fit. And that has helped us out a lot. With that being said, we have several team members who've never worked remotely before, who are incredible artists at what they do. And, that's a process for them, where there's a lot of excitement at first. You see as from the executive side, I get to see the lulls where, there's, oh, wait, okay, now. And so you do get to kind of watch that happen on a granular basis of the people going through it and trying it out and then getting the support and everything else. And part of our job there is to make sure that you're not hammering on people when, they're getting in that transition period where they're understanding how remote works. If our team wants to work, some of our team, we're publicly traded, so there's some stuff that just has to be done during business.
Right. Of course.
But if our team wants to work at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. and sleep till noon, I don't really care. The only thing we care about is respect, communal respect and results, right? And that starts with and ends with me and my executive team. We have the responsibility is on us to follow through on everything that we say we're going to do, deliver on the pieces that we pull out of the basket, make sure that when we are saying, hey, we're going to be here, we're going to be here, we're going to be here, that we're there and we're there on time, because those are the determining factors of success for decentralization in the workplace, right? You have to build a team who unconsciously trusts everything else that the rest of the team is going to be doing. And that's a bit of a magic trick. Yeah. Luckily, we live in a technological age where it's possible. Right? I can be on the phone with somebody in South America right now. I don't even know where you are. Your accent sounds like Texas.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. I was not too far off.
Not too far away.
Not too far away. I have ridden an 8-hanger chopper around Memphis for a couple of nights with some guys a few years back, and that was a lot of fun. It was great.
Nice.
And I love Nashville too. That's a great spot. In case anybody didn't know it, did you know that Nashville, Tennessee is the #1 destination for bridal? What do you call bridal showers? What's bachelorette party for bachelorette parties in the world? My wife and I went to Nashville and we're there, and I'm like, what is going on? The guy's like, yeah, we're the #1 destination for. It's just hundreds of bachelorette parties all over the place. It's very interesting. Anyway, sidetrack.
That's a good fact to know, without a doubt.
Squirrel. So, and that you have to create a culture where the team members have a chance to step up, where they have a chance to fail, where they have a chance to have problems, and they're not getting hit with a hammer, but that the expectations are very clear, and that the examples set by the executives for the top-down view, I don't like top-down, but we have to exemplify those traits, and that's not easy to do. It's a challenge. As as anybody who has run an organization knows, the amount of demands on our time and the propensity for humans to say yes when they should say no is pretty tough. And that's probably a big one. Part of our training is getting our employees not to take more than they should. When you put together a band of overachievers.
I was going to ask you about that as far as being in this environment and the ability to balance life, when you could probably work 24 hours a day if you wanted to. That's a challenge, isn't it?
It's a challenge, and it's a challenge for everybody on the team. For me personally at this stage, I have my daughters are 13 and 10. My wife runs her own company. And so, we have that conversation before dad goes and takes a company public, where we sit down and we say, look, the next 6 months, we're going to be out of balance, and we're going to make sure that we're mindful of that. We're going to make sure that we're communicative about that. But, all of us as a family have to be on the same page that we're doing this for a reason, that there is a result, there is a goal, there is a win here for our family, for our lives, for our adventures. And so in order to achieve that, we are going to be consciously out of balance for this extended period of time. And that allows us to, not overtly deal with a lot of the problems that you have from just showing up out of balance and everybody around you going, whoa, what happened? And B, it allows us to make sure that we're checking on, are we getting back into balance, right? Because, that conversation was 4 months ago. So where do we look like we're headed in 60 days? Do I need to, and I'm working, probably on average, probably 16 hours a day. I've got a media load, hanging out with folks like you. We've got all of our legal and financial and regulatory compliance loads. Plus we're, scaling up and spooling up a couple of different divisions all at the same time, with onboarding multiple employees every week and everything else that we're doing. So that takes doing, right? But we can't lose balance. And so we do a lot of yoga. We're West Coast hippies and everything that goes along with that. Insert what you like. But, we do a lot of yoga, and it is really about making sure that physically we're healthy, that we're staying connected with our families, that our staff can stay connected with their families while we know that we're in a place that's out of balance. But the idea that we're selling to our employees, not our customers, Lannister Development, client-facing blockchain development, Lannister Capital, we're all focused on, real estate finance and real estate capital stuff on blockchain and decentralized ledgers and smart contracts and all kinds of great stuff. But what we're selling to our staff is this idea that, you can just do your art. If you're an artist, if you're the most brilliant code mind in the world, I want you. If you are an absolute brilliant PR guerrilla hacking, I hope they serve beer in hell style of human, I want you. And if you're a brilliant, beautiful writer, if you're a talented graphic designer, if you're, all of these things where you get these people, we get to say first and foremost, like, we just want you to do your art, And so with you doing your art in a beauty and detailed way, it serves the rest of the whole. And then secondarily to that is our pitch about freedom. We believe as a core operational belief in lifestyle by design. And if you're going to design your life, you should design the most passionate, connected, energized, curious one that you can possibly create. And that seems to be working because I've got amazing folks.
Yeah, leads maybe to a fulfilling life. I don't know. Maybe just a hunch.
No, because, look, I did business all the other ways. I have done, I'm pretty dumb. I only learn when I pound my face against a brick wall really hard, and then they go, oh, don't do that. So, I've done business all the other ways, and I've learned that there's not really a number of zeros in a bank account that makes up for just feeling that kind of disrupted energy all the time.
Right.
And that you're just not in sync. I probably missed And they don't remember it either. So, okay, but I probably missed the first 4 years of my daughter's lives because we were so focused on making another few $1 million in real estate, or whatever that arbitrary goal was. Look, do we want to have scaled revenues and scaled value? Absolutely. The people that I'm bringing on are coming on because they believe in our mission and our vision and what we're doing, and that results in a life wealth reward. So we're all on the same page there, but I'm not chasing millions of dollars.
We're talking with Joe Synder of Lannister Holdings. Joe, if people are interested in learning more about your companies, how can we find you?
So we are LannisterHoldings.com, and our contact form is on there. LannisterDevelopment.com is the client-facing blockchain development division for anybody that's looking for how blockchain might disrupt their industry or their workload or their vertical. And I'm on Twitter at Lannister CEO, and the company's on Twitter at Lannister NBDR. So find us there. Feel free to drop us a line, say hello, and we'd love to hear from all of you.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, as far as your team and fulfilling relationships, and we've talked about work-life balance. We've talked a little bit about working in a virtual environment that maybe is a little different for people who haven't done it before. Now, what are some, again, the pros and maybe some good tips that you can give us about how to function well in those type of environments?
Number one is responsibility. You have to be a team or build a team who has who takes ownership of their personal responsibility. Part of the reason that offices were invented was that some folks will just lay in bed all day and watch 11 hours of Netflix and then just go, well, crap, man, I didn't get anything done today. And look, that's okay. We all need a Netflix and zone out day, right? So those aren't bad things, but they are deadly if you're looking at an elongated time period, right? So that core personal responsibility to say, I know what my tasks are. I know what I've committed to. I know what deadlines I've told the rest of my team I will hit. And so I am going to get my ass out of bed and go do these things to get that done. That's the most vital piece, right? Then from there is maintaining a culture, and maintaining a culture and decentralized is tricky, but we use Slack for communication, obviously email and all that, but we have multiple communication channels. We have very open communication through all the levels of our organization, and we make sure that the team is engaged with each other, even across boundaries that aren't natural fits. We make sure that our PR team talks with our dev guys, on a weekly basis. And those two speak totally different languages. Yeah. Right? But we need our PR folks and our messaging folks to start picking up that language so that they can have an elevated conversation about these, next generation technologies. And so that intercommunal communication is really vital. The great thing is in this day and age, you can run this kind of an organization at scale with all of the existing tools, right? Salesforce for your sales teams, Slack for your overall communication systems, whatever tools and automation and setup tools are being used on social media. There's a bunch of them. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but Zoom for video meetings and communications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These systems now exist and are deployed and are very, very, very useful. So we love it. And, our stakeholders love it because our operations costs are ridiculously low compared to my competitors.
Yeah. Don't have a brick and mortar building to take care of, so to speak.
Been there, done that. Don't want to do it.
Well, Joe, we appreciate and thank you for joining us here on the Journey to Fulfilling Relationships. My last question, which is an original for everyone here is on the program, is what is it that makes you get out of bed in the morning and drives your desire to be successful?
Curiosity. I am endlessly curious, and the best thing about this adventure and this vertical and this space that we're in is this technology can and will and does actually impact so many different use cases across so many verticals that I don't get bored. Because the big problem for me is starting a business, launching it, ramping it up, scaling it to, whatever, 7 figures, whatever, and then looking around and going, I'm so bored. and so curiosity, really, really pushes me forward and helps me maintain that excited edge for sure.
Well, again, we thank you for joining us again to visit Joe and his company's LannisterHoldings.com. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And we thank you again, Joe, for joining us here on the Journey to Fulfilling Relationships. We'll see you soon for our next amazing story. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Journey to Fulfilling Relationships. Please visit us at journeytofulfillingrelationships.com. We'll see you soon for our next amazing story.